The current meta in Splatoon has been causing a ton of arguments and debates, stirring up the community like never before. You might think it's because of E-Leader or something to do with the maps, but no, the leading topic of this debate is a single weapon, Splash. So I'm a competitive Splatoon player, and while I've been playing since day one of the Wii U game, I haven't really been super into competitive until like 2022, aka the end of 2 and the beginning of 3. So keep this in mind when I talk about my viewpoint of certain things in the video. So, the Splash-O-Matic is a automatic shooter that does 25 damage per shot, making it a 4-shot kill with Burst Bomb as its sub and Crab Tank as its special weapon. It has high DPS, making it kill quickly with perfect accuracy on the ground and jumping. No intensify action is needed. It has a sub-weapon that can be used to finish off kills the main weapon may have missed and can also be used to move around quicker, making the already fast mobile weapon even quicker. Along with that, Crab Tank gives it as much range as E-Leader with even faster DPS and a long-ranged explosive with tons of armor and is hard to get close to at long range. Alright, so those are the strengths of the weapon. Its weaknesses are... oh right, it has none, and you'd think me saying that is exaggerated for a bit, but no, the worst thing about this is that it's a 4-shot kill, but it kills so quickly that it doesn't matter, and even if you miss 1 or 2 shots, a burst bomb will get the job done. See why this is top tier? Nothing really competes against it. Yeah, there are many other options to use, and once again, nothing is inherently flawed, but at top level play, the best of the best is what's gonna get used, which is why most top level comps are 3 splash in a machine. Now, if you were a 2.1 patch meant to balance the game, what would you do to fix the splash problem? A. Lowering the DPS of it to just be a hair slower, making it not as fast at killing. B. Nerfing Crab Tank range, DPS, duration, and giving the user stun if it's destroyed. C. Making Splash 210 points for its special. D. Subscribing to the channel, which you should totally hit that subscribe button as if it was a Splash player. Or E. Lowering points for special for many shooters, ignoring other weapons with similar kits and specials entirely, not changing Splash, and nerfing the crab duration for a second, which gets wholly ignored if you have a single slot of special power up on a build, and not buffing Brella, which is the shooter counter. E. They chose E. Look, I liked this patch for the most part. I liked the buffs to weapons that needed it, like Dynamo and Nova. Still, the points for special getting reduced on shooters that didn't need it, not nerfing Splash in the slightest, and Crab Tank getting a pretty minimal nerf really shows the shooter bias that the devs seem to have. And this has been a growing topic in the community, but for those who don't know, shooter bias is the idea that shooters get the most love and attention from both the devs and people who play the game. Examples of this include shooters having the most amount of weapons of any class, while brushes, stringers, Platanas, umbrellas only have 2 or 3 weapons, shooters having the most solid kit design, whereas other weapons are subject to what and the fuck. Shooters generally having good ink output and DPS, yet have low points for special, while other weapons that would benefit from lower special points having higher ones than shooters, which makes no sense. Shooters have the most number of second kits, 5 in the chill season, which introduced 13 weapons to the game, that's almost half of the new weapons. Umbrellas, which are essentially the shooter counter, getting nerfed to the ground, becoming glitchy messes, and getting pretty mid kits, meaning the dubbed shooter counter no longer works, and overall, players and the devs just like shooters a lot, making other weapons hard to become viable in the top level play, and the 2.1 update really showcases this. Why did these shooters get special point buffs, but these other weapons with the same specials get neglected? This is why Splash is so good right now. Nothing else competes. They barely nerfed its special, didn't touch the main weapon, and their attempt to make Tri-Strike the counter to these weapons, I mean, it sort of worked. Tasabi has seen an increase in usage, but now answer me this. Why are these 200 points while this is 190? The answer is shooter bias. Now, 2 things I said at the beginning of this video will come into play right now. First of all, I wasn't into comp until 2022, so while I still played 2 nonstop, it was pretty casual. I wasn't around during the middle of 2's famed rock, paper, scissors meta, which was teams running a blaster to counter Brella, Brella to counter shooter/dualies, and those countering blasters. Each comp team used 3 types of these weapons, with their 4th just kinda being whatever. Now imagine this meta in this game. You know, the game where most of the weapons are actually viable. Yeah, Brellas still have too many bugs, and the game's netcode is still a joke, but fixing the bugs and reverting some of the overtuned nerfs that Brellas received in 2 would really help resolve the current meta right now. That, and if Splash and Crab get tuned back a little more, such as nerfing Crab Tank's range, DPS, and duration, and giving the user stun when it's destroyed, it would break the shitty meta and create teams that actually have to think about what they're going to use instead of being lazy. Because there have been teams that go outside the box. Last Resort is a great example, sometimes using double Splatana, Octobrush, and other weapons the game offers. The game has the potential for a great meta, and the devs do hear our feedback, but it's ultimately up to them to fix these issues.